Hello.
This is Liberty Unfiltered, and here's your host, Steve Long. This is Liberty Unfiltered, and here's your host, Steve Long.
How's it going, everybody? This is Steve Long. You're listening to Liberty Unfiltered here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. We're also streaming over on K98talk.com. Check us out over there as well. Join us in the chat tonight. It's at vigilantliberadio.us/chat. And join the conversation. Tonight, for the first half of our show, we're going to be talking to the Vice Chair of the Oklahoma Libertarian Party, specifically in regards to an event that was held last week at the Oklahoma State Capitol. The event was called WTF. Where's the freedom? So we won't get too much into details on it. I'm going to go ahead and bring Tina Kelly on with us. Tina, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So you are the Vice Chair of the Oklahoma Libertarian Party, and I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight to talk about what turned out to be a very, sounds like it was a very fun event.
It was. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So this WTF event was kind of your brainchild within the Oklahoma Libertarian Party, and just like to take a few minutes, if you could, and tell us, the folks that don't live in Oklahoma and or aren't really aware of what it is. Just give us a brief summary of what it is, or what it was, rather, and kind of what the purpose of it was.
Well, we had a number of reasons for wanting to do a rally like this. The first and foremost and most obvious is to shine a light on some of the outrageous anti-liberty bills coming out of our legislation this session. And we wanted to do more than that. We wanted to take all of these bills and frame them in a conversation around principle. We wanted to point out why all of these things are anti-liberty, what they all have in common, the thread running through them all. We called it the WTF, Where's the Freedom Rally. Quite frankly, that just stemmed from the outrage that we feel that we've got these legislators that run for office, over and over again on campaigns based around small government, less government intrusion, things like this. Liberty candidates is what they like to call themselves sometimes. Right. And when they get up there, this is the garbage that they put out. And quite frankly, we find ourselves saying, "What the fuck?" And it's a reflection of that. So we had a lot of people that shared that outrage with us.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. You do bring up a good point, especially here in Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know how much more it is in other states, but we know definitely here we've got a lot of Republicans specifically that like to fly the banner of liberty and talk about liberty, and it's like this big buzzword, and they talk about how they want to shrink the government and shrink government intervention, and yet they come up with these bills that ban things and tell you how to live your life, and you're right, you got to just sit there and go, what the fuck?
It's amazing, and I honestly don't know if they just can't see it, or if there is no principle that they are standing on that lets them understand when they are growing government. I want to think they're people of goodwill. I just don't think they get it, which is one of the, like I said, framing these issues in the context of principle was very important for us to do. I think the Libertarian Party is the only party and the only tool that we have right now that can maybe wake people up to what exactly causes government to grow. It's not the obvious things. It's these bills aimed at small groups of people. You know, they think we're solving this one problem, and they're not looking, you know, at the fact that problem is based in fear, based in ignorance, bigotry, or whatever the problem they think they're solving. And then they grow this huge arm of something they pretend to hate. So, I mean, I think that is one purpose that we really wanted to serve.
Well, the Oklahoma Libertarian Party, more recently, seems to be becoming kind of the arm of the, for lack of a better way to put it, the minority support, wing.
Right.
As far as all these, there's a lot of hatred and a lot of bigotry and a lot of legislation pointed at minority groups, I guess the Libertarian Party here in Oklahoma is kind of jumping out against that more so than they have in the past.
Well, we are, because it's just becoming painfully obvious how the growth of government happens. I'm not sure that I was always so clear on it as I am after this rally. I mean, after seeing the bills, after seeing the way that they all line up, I don't think any group of citizens is going to say, yes, we're for growing government. However, you make that same group afraid of a minority, and then you step in and tell them you've got some answer that's going to protect them, and they're so focused on their fear that they don't realize that they've just added links and links to their chain.
The idea of liberty kind of disappears from their mind.
Exactly. And I don't know if that happens everywhere, but that is certainly what is happening here in Oklahoma.
Well, and we see it firsthand, so it's definitely it's in our backyard, so
right.
It hits really close to home, literally. Now the Oklahoma Libertarian Party, of course, was the host of this event, but there were other groups kind of represented there. Can you tell me who a few of them were and how they got involved?
Well, I would say that the biggest number of groups got involved when we asked them to speak, just a few minutes each, but to give them time to speak against the bills that was most egregious to their particular group or that they felt strongly about. So we had 10 speakers come and talk against 12 bills or areas, and of those 10, they range from Adam Saltani of CARE. We had Zachary Knight from Oklahomans for Ballot Access. Connie Johnson spoke, or actually she didn't speak, she was invited. And we had Scott Hamilton. We had a representative from LEAP, Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. We just had a very... it's sad that we had such a representation of the minorities in Oklahoma, but the fact is they are the ones being targeted. So they were anxious to come and have any platform to speak.
Yeah, I mean, specifically Scott Hamilton, who, if you're out there listening and you don't know who he is the director of Cimarron Alliance, which is a group here in Oklahoma that advocates for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender groups here in Oklahoma. Specifically, I guess he probably had quite a bit to say, considering the plethora of bills presented by Representative Sally Kern, specifically. You want to tell us about a couple of those?
Yeah, he did. Actually, there was so much homophobic legislation coming out that we could have done the entire 12 bills just on that. Yeah. I mean, we actually just to be able to talk about anything else, we lumped all of those bills together and let Scott talk about them. he addressed the conversion therapy bill, the anti-marriage stuff. I mean, do you name it? That kind of stuff was coming out from not just Sally, but from a number of legislators. Quite frankly, it was just embarrassing. I can only imagine. I mean, a few of these things come out every year, but I can only imagine that there were so many this year in response to the recent legalization of gay marriage here. I'm guessing they just reacted badly, to say it, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yeah, it's just I find it just so baffling that the court said no, you can't do this, and yet people like Sally Kern and
just every possible way that they could try to be obnoxious about this. Yes, I mean, I just picture them in the Capitol, throwing fits, like 2-year-olds.
We have to make sure these people don't have rights.
So, and they do it under all kinds of banners, under the banner of Christianity, which I think is unfortunate to Christians who don't hold that kind of bigoted views.
Right.
Banner of liberty, which in no way, how can I see that as being accurate. In defense of marriage, you name the buzzwords, and there was a bill coming out of our legislature about it. So,
you mentioned, we know that Adam Saltini of CARE, Oklahoma, which is a council on American Islamic relations. What bills did he bring up?
He actually spoke against what you call that, what is nicknamed the Hobby Lobby bill.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right, SB 48,
right.
And he spoke from the point of view of religious freedoms, and how bills like this are just that sneaky backdoor kind of a way to infringe on the minority rights of people in Oklahoma.
So I think which you had a contest going on. Of sorts, where people would go to the website, which if you're interested in knowing more about this event, you can go to the website, and it's WTFOK.org. But you had a kind of like a contest on there to vote on. There was a list of the bills that were going to be presented. Vote on the worst one. Which one actually won that?
Well, we mostly did that as an entertainment vehicle. I mean, we really didn't want to put a value on the rights of one people over the rights of another. So we just kind of used that, as a vehicle to get our point across. The bill that actually captured the imagination the most was the hoodie bill. That sort of went. I think that actually just went worldwide. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
We. As a group, later as we're trying to look at the things that we wanted to highlight, we actually chose a bill that wasn't to be our number one. As we chose the Cannabis Prohibition Act, or the End Cannabis Prohibition Act of 2015. So it was the bill that wasn't. It's the bill to me that our legislature should be talking about, and it's the one to me that cuts across freedom in just almost every area.
Now, fortunately, speaking of the hoodie bill, that one, and not surprisingly so, it died in committee. So
yes, I think they couldn't wait to kill that. I think that was just an embarrassment for everybody. We actually chose two speakers to speak against that bill. I like to call that bill the two-headed snake. I believe that Don Barrington, the senator who proposed it, actually aimed the bill at people who wish to remain anonymous in public. I think that he saw some people wearing anonymous masks at the Capitol one day, and that spooked him, and so he just decided he would take away everybody's right to remain anonymous. So I think that was what